kind of drug delivery system, and also we will be I'll be highlighting some important aspects or drug delivery systems which are there in the market and which are FDA approved. So I say a kind attention to all the faculty who have joined as I can say as a participants over here. You can interrupt me during my presentation if you have any doubt, or you can even put your questions in the chat box so that we can have a virtual discussion, one-to-one discussion. And I want to also address that I am also at a learning stage like you all people. Maybe I'm being given an opportunity here to speak. That's why at the outset, I like to congratulate the chief coordinator of this QIP program, Dr. S.S. Sunil Jalalpure sir, and Dr. Rashri madam and V.S. Manur sir for conducting such virtual quality improvement program. And I also take an opportunity to thank the coordinators and the chief coordinators and the coordinators of this program for giving me an opportunity to be as a resource person and to participate in this program. Okay, let me begin my talk. I like to give a preamble for my topic. Technology is changing and how we practice medicine is also changing. Sensors and variables are getting smaller and cheaper, and algorithms are becoming more powerful enough to give or to predict a medical outcome. Yet, despite of rapid advances in the healthcare, it is we can say it currently it is very difficult to put all these technologies once together for a clinical output or a medical outcome. So my presentation here today will be unpacking that barrier. I'll be providing certain core concepts and I'll be defining what actually digital medicine is, how it has been classified, what are its regulatory legal issues that a developer must consider as a digital medicine product. And also I'll be highlighting the classification and how to what extent these medicines are safe enough. So there is one I just got it when I was doing a literature search on my topic. This is Bodzader, who told Global Head Digital Therapeutics Sanofi. He told that if we look at the major trends, people are living longer on an average. So there is a rise in the chronic disease associated with aging. And meanwhile, the health workers, like they may be physicians, nurses, or pharmacists, do not have much time to get involved with their patients, to review the record, and for the patient care. Yes, everyone have powerful computers in the pocket, what we call it as a mobile right now. But if we put all these digital solutions together, that is knowledge, person, as well as our small computers in the pockets, if we pull all these together, we'll get a digital solution that comes into our market, which we generally call it as a digital medicine. So my question to all the delegates over here, anybody has any idea of a digital medicine? Can I call a health app as a digital medicine? I want you people to get involved. Can I call a health app, any health app? It may be a Me app or it may be any health app which we generally use. Normally, we all are using day to day. Can I call it as a digital medicine? Yes. Can I call it a digital medicine? Yes, we can call it as a digital medicine. A health app is generally a digital medicine of class 1, according to the regulatory. That is what we are going to highlight. So how this advent of digital medicine came into existence. So in 1903, the first ECG came into existence. Then in 1958, pacemaker. Then we had a commercial ECG. In 1973, the cell phone came into existence. Then we had in 1981 oximeter. In 1993, we had a BP electrical cuff, which came into existence. Then 2007, we can say a revolution, that is iPhone came into existence. Then 2011, Fitbit model came into existence. Then in 2014, there was a MedWatcher mobile app, which we could even measure our heart rate, pulse, all those things. Even our footsteps would be measured, and it would be which should convert into number of kilometers we have or exercise, the amount of calories we have burned, that we could get in 2014. Then there was a major turnover which came in 2016, that is Fitbit recorded activity. Even we could come to know, and for the heart failure management, this could be used. So there was a lot of revolutions going on in case of digitalization going on. And this in 2016, the Fitbit recorded the first ECG. Okay, it recorded the first ECG for the management of the heart failure. A case report was generated. This turned the US FDA to get into the new regulations for the digital medicine. So Digital Therapeutic Alliance, DTA, what we call right now, which is headquartered in US, was founded in 2015. So the global digital therapeutic market has been growing significantly from 2017, and now to 2.1 billion is projected, and it right now, and according to the recent statistics, we have reached already 3.1 billion, and it is projected to reach USD of 6.9 billion by 2025. So we can say that this market is globally growing three times what actually it is now by 2025. So there is a lot to happen. Okay, there's a lot to happen in digital medicine. Maybe we need to start a program, MFARM in digital medicine recently. So can't say what will be the future. So this is one thing which I found very interesting, and I like to share with you all. The number of digital apps have been doubled in recent years. Okay, so right now, this is actually 2019 data, a source which has taken from 2019. 318,000 apps have been used, and now the rate of number of apps which have been increased due to COVID are going at around 5 lakh, and more than these apps have been used. And majorly 28% of these apps are for mental health and behavioral disorder, and 16% of the apps have been used by diabetes patients, and 11% by heart and circulatory system. So these apps are programmed in such a way that they guide us about our health, about our behavior, and using a digital biomarker. So we use different biomarkers, and here for these apps, we are using a digital biomarker that we'll be discussing later. So number of digital health apps have been doubled, and therefore there is a need of clinical validation. We cannot use all the apps to say that I've got this particular disorder. Now, for example, they'll tell us to list out the different conditions for describing a particular disease. So we describe n number of symptoms in an app, and at the last they say us this is the disease what you have to be. So but there should be a clinical validation for those apps. So the pharma industry along with the digital industry, that is IT industry, together we need to develop a drug delivery system or a digital medicine, so that we can quantify our what you call the symptoms, and we can come to a final conclusion. So we can accept a very good change ahead. Yes, I say we can accept that there will be an inevitable tsunami of change, which we call a digital medicine. So what does a success look like? Yes, as the leaders in this field have stated, if the success is accelerating the advancement of digital medicine, then soon we'll just call it as a medicine. So the talk for my presentation here will be, I'll be introducing the topic, I'll be highlighting the different digital medicine, I'll be telling what is FDA approved digital therapeutics, regulatory requirements, and I'll be concluding my talk. So coming to the topic, yes, digital medicine. Digital medicine describes a field concerned for service of a human health. Okay, so service of a human health means that medicine or that drug delivery system what we are using, or a tool what we are using, should measure an intervention. Okay, we are using only these two words over here. Intervention means it may be a diagnose or treatment. Okay, both. So if any device measures or intervention or diagnoses a particular disease, then we call that particular apparatus or equipment or any tool as a digital medicine. So generally we say we are using an app. Okay, we have MI band, wristband. So we can call it as a digital medicine, but we have a different regulations for that because it is measuring our heart rate, it is measuring our, you can say the steps, water, calories, which we are burning day to day, everything it is measuring. So we can call that as a digital medicine. So digital medicine is nothing but any tool which is used to measure, intervene, or diagnose. And very important terminology, it is service to the human health. Okay, so we call this as a digital medicine. Digital medicine products are driven by high quality hardware and software products that support health research and practice of medicine broadly. And these are used for the treatment, recovery, disease prevention, health promotion of the individual and across population. So this medicine encapsulate both broad professional expertise and responsibility which concern for the use of the digital tools. And digital medicine focuses on evidence generation. So evidence generation is very important. Why it is important is based on these facts, the physicians are going to help us to curb that particular disease. So digital medicine products are evidence-based tools that support the practice of medicine. So the core principles of digital medicine are, they are used to prevent, manage, or treat a medical disorder or a disease. They produce a medical intervention that is driven by a software and delivered by a software. They incorporate a design so that it can be manufactured and give a best quality practice. It incorporates patient privacy and security protection also. It can be reviewed and cleared or approved by the regulatory authorities. It can claim and appropriate to the clinical validation and regulatory status. And most important, the medicine what we are using as a digitalized medicine should collect, analyze, and apply the real world evidence and the product performance. Suppose I have a glucometer, okay, and I connect this glucometer to an app on my phone. So as soon as the blood is been tested, the glucometer reads the reading, and then it collects, it analyzes the data, and then it will apply the data to the range, standard range, and it will give me whether my readings are appropriate, whether hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia. So when it is connected to app, the glucometer itself is not called as a digital medicine, but when I connect the glucometer to the app, it becomes a digital medicine. Why? Because it is used to manage or treat a disease, which manage a disease, produce a medical intervention, and also it collects, analyzes the data to the real world data. This is what is actually a digital medicine is. What are the benefits of this medicine? Majorly, I have classified the benefits for the patient and the caregivers and for the healthcare providers in the health system. So for the patient, deliver is reliable, evidence-based intervention with a high quality, meaning whatever the output is there is a high quality and it can be quantitatively explained to the clinical or the physician. There's an increased access to the therapy that are clinically demonstrated as safe and effective. And for the healthcare providers, there's increased access to the novel treatment, and we can integrate into the healthcare delivery system in accordance with the industry best practices and guidelines. So this is what I have compared here is historically what was happening is there was a stock, the patient receives the test results, the piece of evidence every couple of months or years sometimes, and then there is a human readable, this test will go to the doctor, the tests are interpreted by the physician, and that is the tissue samples, reactivity of a compound, etc. Then the human shared the results from one human to other human, it may be from a doctor to a patient, and very few in this environment there is a space for contest and questions. But now today when we will be using a digital medicine, the flow of data to some extent we are experiencing this. Data can come in minute or a millisecond. Example, heart rate information, continuous glucose monitoring, and it is non-human readable, meaning the data is interpreted by an algorithm or an artificial intelligence software, wherein you'll get the exact computation with the data what you have got, and this will be machine shared to the physician, wherein you'll also get a data interpreted to the correct false positive and correct false negative in the real time. So there is no question of any wrong interpretation, okay, any false data, etc. So that will be the future. This will be the flow pattern in the digital era of medicine. Now, who practice this digital medicine? Yes, digital medicine has to be practiced from the pharmacist to the physician to the nurses and health navigators. All of them have to practice this digital medicine. Whoever is practicing the traditional medicine is required to practice this digital medicine. Okay. So we can say digital tools will decentralize the care. Okay, I like to quote this. What do you mean by decentralizing the care? Meaning the patient need not be in the hospital. He will be administered. Okay, he will be intervened. He will be diagnosed sitting at home using this digital medicine that is outside the hospital, clinics and laboratories. And one more very important thing, patients will have an active role in digital medicine, meaning he also needs to be trained prior to use of this digital medicine. Now coming to the use of digital medicine, the pharmaceuticals, biological devices will be in form of this digital medicine, which are used to optimize the patient cares and health outcomes. It empowers the patients and healthcare providers with intelligent tools to address a wide range of conditions. And there will be an high quality and a safe and effective measurements. And it helps us to develop the knowledge of the fundamental determinants of health and illness. The stakeholders of digital medicines will be patient, clinical care providers, physicians, healthcare researchers, biopharm and medical devices companies, experts of digital therapeutics, data scientists, cybersecurity experts, and funders. Okay, the payers are very important over here. Payers are nothing but the people who are sponsoring the research. Their role is also going to play a major, because this is not a this does not run on a small funding. You require a huge amount of funding to run this kind of a, or to develop this kind of a digital medicine. So in this slide, I'm showing a 3D matrix, that is digital medicine impact matrix, which we generally call it as. So this is a 3D, three-dimensional diagram which I'm showing. In x-axis, we have a technology spectrum. Okay, so digital medicine can take a role right from a standalone product like a wristwatch, a app, okay, up to a generic smart collaboration like an infusion pump, insulin infusion pump. To that extent also the technology spectrum can go, or it can be a cam pill which is taken, which will give you endoscopic pictures of your whole GI tract, the mucosal lining, the surface, the pH of your contents of your stomach. Everything can be assessed, intervened by using this digital medicine. Okay, so who are benefited? Application spectrum, right from the clinical focus, that is diagnosis and treatment. It can be citizen focused for the self-management. And on z-axis, you can see the clinical spectrum. You can treat acute medical condition to the chronic medical condition. So this is how the consumerization of the digital medicine may take place. Right from a standalone product, it can be a high-end product, right from the clinical focus diagnosis to the self-management treatment in case of the patients, and you can treat acute medical conditions to the chronic medical conditions by using this digital medicine. So these are the trends in digital technologies in medicine and health and well-being. So you can use a software that is dumb or dedicated isolated hardware and software to the smart, connected and collaborative hardware and software. From the clinical managed health, you can shift to citizen managed health. Now we'll go for different types of digital medicine which are available in the market. We have 3 different types of medications which are available in the market. We call them as measurement products, intervention products, and combination products. So what are these measurement products? Measurement products are nothing but digital marker. It can be an electronic clinical outcome assessment device, or it may be a tools that measure the adherence and safety of the product. Okay, so this topic, actually one of our consultancy project was on using soil as a you can call for acquiring the radiations, for acquiring the radiation and storing them, and then again transforming them in form of a battery. Okay, that was one of the consultancy project which I did. And when I was going through the literature, I could find a tattoo which was used for a child management. Like the child has been put a tattoo, and then he can be passively managed, meaning he can be assessed passively at home, so that he'll not come across any danger or any problem at home when he is alone at home. So this increased my knowledge what actually is this, and how we can assess, or how we can track the movement of the child. So this is by using a digital biomarker, that it may be a voice biomarker. This generally a voice biomarker is used to track the change in the tremor for Parkinsonism disease. So using this marker, we can assess the degree of state of Parkinsonism patient, to what level the changes are taking place day to day. And this voice biomarker, at least 5 minutes recording is sent to the physician every day by using this biomarker, and the physician assesses the change in the state of a patient by using this monitoring system. So we have this digital biomarker in the market for assessing the track change in the tremor for a Parkinsonism patient. Apart from this, we have an electronic clinical outcome base, which we generally call it as patient reported outcome survey, wherein on a group of patients who are generally treated with a hypertension, their EEG report or their heartbeat, everything is collected and they come out with a solution. And the patient sitting at home is in contact with the physician using the app system, and this clinical data outcome assessment will be a real valuable outcome for treating that patient condition. Then we have tools that measure the adherence and safety. Suppose a patient is being treated for a very chronic disease, and if he is not adhering to the treatment, then it's of no use. So we can have a pill with a sensor inside it, or a variable sensor which is just instilled, or which is attached to the body of a patient, which will help us to know whether the patient is adhering to the treatment or no, as soon as he or she takes the medicament. So this is one of the passive way of monitoring the patients at home. So these are called as the measurement products. So we have n number of measurement products in industry. We have ingestible sensors. Then we have pressure monitors, which are directly connected to an app. We have smart clothings also, which can be worn by the aged patients for the passive monitoring. We have a smart insole or a guide sensor, which will tell us how much amount of calories have been burned and what is the total output of our day-to-day activity. We have a wrist monitors, watches, and ring sensors, which will help us to analyze the blood circulation in the body. And then we have a dermal tattoos or the sensors, which help us to analyze how effectively the medication is taken. Then we have a dental implant sensors, and we have a contact lens and eyeglass sensors. So all these sensors are called as measurement products because they measure one or the other biomarkers, and they accumulate the data for the patient. Okay, and all these biomarkers have a component of radio frequency detecting system, which with a photodiode, which will help us to accumulate the data. So this is one of the potential portable wearable implant component of the radio frequency. Okay, you can see there is an ingestible sensor and there is a sensor patch on the body of the patient. The ingestible sensor, as soon as the medicament is taken, the ingestible sensor sends the radio frequency rays to the sensor patch, and the sensor patch in turn sends the radio frequency rays to the app. Okay, and the app collects all the data, interprets the data using an algorithm which is installed in the app, and then you get a patient details on directly, which is connected through a cloud to a physician. And the interpretation is done right, the patient sitting at home and the physician sitting in the clinic. So these are some of the radio frequency hybrid closed loop health maintenance system which are available and actively these type of systems are used abroad. Now this is a digital medicine measurement type. Okay, this has got FDA 510K clearance, and this is manufactured by BioVitals, an analytical engine, Singapore-based company. And this will help us. This is a prescription software which will enable for the detection of the heart failure. Generally, after a bypass or after pace setting, this software is enabled in the app, in form of an app in patient's mobile. And this, along with the patient, a sensor is been attached on the body of the patient, so that this will enable the early detection of the heart failure, and it helps us the guideline to the physician to fight with that particular disease or the state of the patient. And the value proposition is it reduces the length of the stay, 30 days rehospitalization, generally which is required after a pace setting or after a bypass surgery, that is been reduced, and thus reduces the cost of the hospitalization cost and healthcare spending cost. As I told you, it is 510K pre-market notification. I'll be discussing this in the regulatory requirements. This is one more very important digital medicine, again US FDA certified digital medicine, which we call it as Rhythm Analytics. It is a cloud-based software for automated detection of over 15 types of cardiac arrhythmias. Can be detected by using this software. Again, it is FDA 510K clearance for rhythmic analytics. This is a software which is SaaS-based software, and it has got a novel deep neural network architecture also for a high degree of detection. So it detects if the patient is going to have a cardiac arrhythmia. Okay, generally when I was going through the literature, I came to know that 1 hour before the cardiac arrhythmia, the notification comes to the physician for a proper treatment. This is the first monitoring device which was FDA approved in 2016 itself, which we call it as the AliveCore heart monitor. Okay, this is also an app with a sensor attached on the human body, and this will give you a recording of ECG every hour. And this is an FDA cleared 3M Littman core stethoscope. Okay, this stethoscope helps us to give an amplified listening modes. Okay, and the cost of this stethoscope is somewhere around 35,000 to 45,000. So instead of using an echo or instead of using ECG, using this stethoscope, you can monitor the amplified listening and modes of the heartbeat, and then you can predict any untoward situation in the patient. Okay, this is a very important pill cam. Pill cam is widely used in India also right now for endoscopy. This is called as a capsule endoscopy, and this is approved by US FDA. The pill cam SB3 system allows the direct visualization of the small bowel, supporting greater confidence when monitoring lessons that can be related to any of these conditions. It can be any conditions related to GIT disorder, that is, it can be a bleeding or iron deficiency anemia. Okay, you get an exceptional pictures of mucosa, and the treatment, correct treatment can be given according to the images formed. Yes, one more thing about this is the pill cam is made up of chromium nickel. These are the materials which are found in our GI tract, and it can be easily excreted from the body. The digital medicine types measurement. So the real-time data is received. It has been monitored by any of these tools, like it may be a glucose continuous monitoring tool. It can be an actigraphy, that is a wristwatch, which we are using, which contains an app actigraphy. It can be an ECG, it can be a consumer app, blood pressure monitor, or electronic patient reported outcomes. All these are used for as a monitoring app, and then it goes to the investigator for the proper treatment. So we can say measurement devices are the best operated devices as a digital medicine. And right now in US, 80% of the population is using the measurement type of digital medicine. And it is estimated that in India, 20 to 30% of the population is using this digital medicine. And in 2015, it was the expected growth in the healthcare market. It was 10 billion, and it has reached to 2020 to 31 billion It was expected 2.1, that is 21 billions, but now it has reached to 31 billions. So smartphones have become an access point to the end user, and these connected digital tools provided by an internet connected individual to monitor the track of their health status outside the four walls of the healthcare. So these digital measurement tools are very important because they gives us the health status. The physician sitting at his clinic can assess our health. So digital therapeutics, and we'll go for the second type of digital medicines, which we generally call it as a intervention products. So intervention products means we have a combination of measurement plus diagnosis also. And in some cases, it may be treatment also. So that's why we call it as an intervention or diagnostic products. So digital therapeutics are and connected implants, for example, insulin pump, they are used independently or in concern with the medication devices or therapies to optimize patient care and healthcare outcomes. So this is one US FDA approved class 2 digital intervention product, an insulin pump. Insulin pump are the small computerized devices that mimic the working of the human pancreas, and they deliver the small doses of the insulin continuously. This device is also used to deliver the variable amounts of insulin when eaten, when we have a bolus or a meal when it's been taken. So depending on the blood sugar level, this infusion releases the insulin very slowly at different intervals of time. And generally the intervals of time, meaning we have to activate this insulin pump, and this is majorly used in India also right now for the treatment of type 1 diabetes. The treatment with insulin pump has shown to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease by 42% and premature death by 27% compared to the conventional therapy. So we'll go for the next type of that is only one US FDA digital intervention product. We'll go for the next part, that is combination products, meaning the products which measure and intervene. For example, there's a continuous glucose monitoring system for diabetic patient, and the data is automatically goes to the doctor using a companion app. Recently, there is a development of artificial pancreas, which has been combined with continuous glucose monitoring system with an insulin pump and a computer-controlled algorithm that allows automatically adjust the delivery of the insulin to reduce high blood sugar levels. We all know what happens when the sugar levels goes beyond the range, and it disturbs the other systems of the body, other vital systems of the body. That's why the blood sugar levels need to be controlled. And these artificial pancreas have been found to be a valid tool for the treatment of optimizing the treatment of insulin. So this is a digital medicine which is again FDA approved, which we generally call it as an artificial pancreas for young children with type 1 diabetes. It is called as Minimed 770G system, and this is first legally FDA marketed device that can automatically adjust the insulin delivery based on continuous glucose monitoring values. Okay, the cost of this equipment generally is 7 lakhs. Okay, 6 to 7 lakhs it costs, and monthly you have to invest 10 to 20,000 rupees. Okay, right now in India it is not a choice. The reason is because of its cost. In US and other developing countries, it is widely used because they have an insurance claim for all these products also. Then we have a first approved digital medicine, which we say combination products, which will intervene as well as cure a particular disease. So this is FDA approved Japan-based Otsuka Pharmaceuticals. We call it as Abilify MySight, a first digital medicine pill that is integrated with an ingestible sensor that captures the information about the patient's adherence with the medication regimen. Okay, so this pill consists of, this is used for the schizophrenia treatment, and this pill consists of an ingestible sensor which is taken, which is inside the pill, and this will help us to get the information through an app again. So there will be a sensor attached on the patient's body. Through the app again, we'll come to know whether the patient has taken the medication and what time he has taken, and when is the next dose to be taken by the patient. Okay, this is the first and the only approved digital medicine for the treatment of schizophrenia. So this is how the ingestible sensor work. There's a tiny silicon sensor the size of a grain or a salt that is attached to a regular pill. The patient swallows the pill with a sensor which is activated in the gastric juices in the stomach. The sensor generates a signal determining the identity of medicine and the time and the ingestion of the pill. There is a band-aid-like disposable patch, which we generally call it as a sensor on the patient's body, okay, to sense the taking of the medication along with the other biomarkers. It may be a heart rate, activity of the patient, or other body metrics. Then the data is sent to a Bluetooth-enabled device. It may be a phone or it may be a computer, and this is accessible to the caretakers and the clinicians. The system also allows to use a setup alarm which reminds that the patient needs to take up the medicine or he has not taken the medicine at the right time. So you can see in the picture, there is a sensor which is attached to the body, and these devices, the sensor which is inside the pill is made up of a tiny coating of copper and magnesium. These are the two metals which are already available in our daily diet, and the silicon is used as a sensor which passes away in the body as that which passes of the high fiber food. So there is no US FDA has approved, hence it is non-toxic to the body also. So you can see a small a sensor which is present at the center, and this sensor enables us to adhere to the medication. So there is one more ingestible sensor also undergoing phase 3 clinical trial, and it is proved to be efficient, especially in the treatment of tuberculosis, wherein adherence of the medication seems to be very important. If the patient does not adhere to the medication, then the whole treatment goes at false. That is the reason phase 3 clinical trial has been proved that it is 100% efficient, and maybe in couple of months this type of ingestible sensors may be in the market for the patient adherence to the medication. So what is the difference between a digital wellness product and a digital medicine? A digital medicine product manufacturers commit to undergo a rigorous randomized controlled clinical trials. Okay, I want to repeat this. As our all drug products, either it is NDA, okay, ANDA product, or it may be any newly that is NCE, it has to undergo a rigorous randomized controlled clinical study. Same way, a digital medicine also has to undergo a randomized controlled clinical studies for their products. Digital medicine has to demonstrate the success in the clinical trial. Same way, same format for the clinical trial as followed for the drug product. It has to undergo and demonstrate the success of a clinical trial. The digital products are nothing but that measure the wellness, and they are less defined to the concept of wellness. For example, an app or a variable sensor. So if you have any doubt till now, you can ask for, because we are going for the regulatory considerations for the digital medicine.
Madam, I have one doubt.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, what about its accuracy and precision?
Okay, accuracy and precision depends on the validation of the software, because the products which are meaning generally developed in case of digital medicines are already marketed products. Okay, here we are developing the digital medicine is being developed only for their adherence, intervention, or diagnosis. So the clinical validation of the software is important. That's why we'll be studying how a software will be validated in the regulatory consideration. Until and unless it shows 100% validation, it will not be revealed in the market, or it will not be marketed.
Because there are
Yeah, hello, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
You were talking about that wristbands and all. Now, if you see in the market, there are different companies who bring the wristband in a different price level.
Yes.
So,
yes,
is it any validation that has been done in between the companies, or maybe within the companies that within that wristbands of two people? Because I have seen myself when I wear wristband of same company on both my hands, both
Yes.
of them gives me different. This
Yes,
one,
yes. Yes.
even for the pulse oximeter, the same thing has happened.
Yes.
If you
yes,
put
yes.
on the right and left hand, both the fingers, the values are different. So
Yes,
what is
yes.
about the validity of these low cost
Yes,
digital
yes.
medicine that you are talking about?
Okay, okay. I like to put a light on this issue. There is a certain radio frequency wavelength which has to be used in designing this digital medicine. Okay, the US FDA has told that not less than 600 megahertz of energy should be used. We have so many digital medicines wherein much more than 600 megahertz of digital frequency is being used. So maybe those diagnostic agents may be very fast and they are not reliable because they may cause injury to the patient's health, because these are radio frequency radiations which are constantly in contact with the body and may cause any harm. That's why US FDA has suggested that these kind of drug delivery system as class 1. Okay, so whatever wristbands we are wearing right now, like it may be MI band. Okay, these are having very low radio frequency which is going into our body. That's why we are not getting a precise results. Okay, that's why we are not getting the precise results. Okay, so the class 1 digital medicine whichever the US FDA has been approved, okay, only those will be validated. The rest all bands won't be validated. And I like to once again mention over here, Indian regulatory system has not opted or has not given any regulations for digital medicines till date. It has not given. So maybe in years to come, we may need to focus on all these things and new regulations may come into picture. Still we are giving meaning we are marketing the products which are causing hazards to the humans. That's why we say anything which is not validated should not be used. And how best the wristband what we are using, how best information it gives, we don't know because it is not clinically validated. That is what the issue is, and we don't have any regulations in India for the digital medicine till date. Any other questions? So shall I move on to the regulatory considerations? So FDA regulates the medicinal products or digital medicines like other drugs and diagnostic devices, but not the practice of the medical care. Okay, I repeat, it only assures that a right digital medicine is in the market, okay, according to the pharmaceutical laws or drug development procedures, etc., but not the practice of the medical care. Again, okay, structurally the FDA has 6 centers. Okay, but most relevant centers for digital medicines are Center for Drug Evaluation and Research History, which we generally call it as CDER, Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, that is CBER, and Center for Devices and Radiological Health, that is CDRH. CDRH plays a very important role in development of digital medicine because the efficiency of the radio frequency waves what is being used and need to be assessed, and they need to be safe enough for the usage of the humans. So the world's first prescription digital therapeutic was developed and approved in US. Hence, we all know that we generally follow US guidelines. And the drug therapeutic is regulated by Center for Devices and Radiological Health, which we generally call it as CDRH at FDA. The FDA considers the digital therapeutic submission as a mobile medical application. I repeat, the FDA considers the digital therapeutic submission as a mobile medical application, which we generally call it as MMA, and it classifies the submission as class 1 submission, class 2, and class 3 devices, depending on the analysis of safety, risk, and intended use for indication. So whatever regulatory requirements are there, we classify them as class 1 digital medicine, class 2, and class 3 devices for drug therapeutics. For class 2 and class 1 devices, they are generally characterized as special and generic controlled respectively. Therefore, a submission, application submission of 510K pre-market submission is required. Okay, that's why in the previous slide when I had put a cardiac rhythmic software, in that it is 510K pre-market submission required. Class 3 is designated for those devices which possess most significant risk of illness and injury, and these devices are subjected to pre-market approval, that is PMA review process. So For class 3 devices, it is generally said that it has to undergo phase 0 to phase 4 clinical trial before coming into the market. Like it may be an insulin pump, or it may be an artificial pancreas, or it may be a sensor based adherence tablet. So all these have to go all the 5 phases of the clinical trial before coming into the market. But class 1 and class 2 devices need not go for the clinical approval. A 510K compares the devices to another or more similar devices that has been already legally marketed and claims the new device to be substantially equivalent. This is your answer, Tanmay, for your question. There are so many wrist brands which are available in the market, and for them 510K device approval is given, submission is given. It is just like we have a branded and we give a generic approval. That is 510K approval. And these are already legally available in the market, and you prove that your device also is similar to that device. Okay. And if
Yes.
no such marketed devices exist, then we go for a de novo submission. Very important. De novo is a Latin term which will say that something has begun. So we are inventing something and something has begun, and this de novo submission is given only for class 1 and class 2 device. Like for example, a sensor technology. It is not previously existing. I develop a new sensor technology for an ophthalmic preparation. So I will call it as a de novo submission, wherein the class 1, it is a class 1 and class 2 submission, but no one has till date has prepared that type of a device. Then I'll go for a de novo submission. So this is how the regulatory setup is. Now I have an app. I want to go for a mobile app application. So what I'll do is, whether this app is intended, only if it is intended, I call it as a medical device. I'll go for the enforcement discretion. Yes, this medical app is used for coaching. It is used for wellness. It is used to promote health. Okay, it has got a very simple calculation and it facilitates the daily health records. Okay, then it is a medical device, but we call it as a class 1 medical device. Which device it is? Class 1, it requires registration. Okay, we require device listing, quality system, and medical reporting for this class 1 device. Class 2 device are nothing but they are same as that of the class 1 device. We give them 510K regulatory submission for this and approval. And class 3 device, they may be same as class 1 device, but they significantly affect the data collection and the health issues. Then we have to go for registration, device listing, quality management, and all the phases of clinical trials. So as I told you, class 3 device requires preclinical testing, that is in vitro testing, then phase 0 testing, that is first in human trials, then phase 1 trials, that is test the drug in health human subjects, primarily to assess the safety and tolerability, and phase 2 test on the drug on larger groups and to test its safety and efficacy. Similarly, it should have phase 3, that is multiple large trial testing, and also phase 4 to track the adverse drug reaction. So all these testing has to be done only for class 3 medical devices, not class 1 and class 2. Okay, so medical devices classified in the order for increasing the order of risk. Okay, so from this we can come to know that class 3 medical devices are having higher risk to the patients when compared to class 1 and class 2 devices. So class 1 devices require little safety testing. Today around 50% of the medical devices follow under this category, and 95% are exempted from the regulatory process. Because of that, they are proven to be many devices are available in the market which are having low risk. So class 2 devices are a lowest risk class and they are covered under insurance, and this enable the greater access to them. For example, Apple first FDA cleared product and ECG over the counter non-prescription app. We call them as class 2 devices. And class 3 devices, it may be an implantable pacemaker or a breast implant. So 10% of these devices are available in the market, but they should have an radiology, Center for Drug Research and Radiology certification before they come into the market. So this is the regulatory pathway. Class 1 and class 2, FDA decisions, yes, it can be cleared, but the product should demonstrate substantial equivalence to predicate the other product which are available in the market. And de novo meaning something new as that of the class 1 and class 2, and probable benefits of the existing products, meaning it has got more benefit than the existing product, then we give a de novo, then the US FDA gives a de novo submission certification for that. And for class 3, you require pre-market approval, and it has to be approved, and it requires independent assessment for its safety and efficacy as that of the any drug product which we are developing. So here are the 5 FDA approved uses of artificial intelligence in the healthcare, meaning 5 different apps which are generally used in the medical line, like Contacts. Contacts is the first FDA approved platform that uses artificial intelligence in evaluating breast abnormalities. It is said that after 40 years you should have a mammograph. Ladies should start having a mammograph every year. But this Contacts is nothing but a software which can give you a well developed mammograph, wherein prior to the development of any lymph nodes in the breast. So that more efficient it is, and this is a first FDA approved platform of artificial intelligence and widely used in US. And there is an Apple Watch ECG. It can detect arterial fibrillation and dangerous arrhythmia that can result into stroke if left untreated. Okay, so prior to getting a stroke or arrhythmia, you can detect what will happen in the future. So this app is also very useful. And ADOC is an app that allows radiologists to identify acute intracranial hemorrhage in the head CT scan. And Zebra Medical Vision, using ECG gated CT scan, calculates the degree of calcination in the patient's coronary artery. And Echo MD Auto EF by Bay Labs indicates how much the heart will pump and how much blood flow is from the heart, and this can indicate the heart failure in the future. So all these apps are US FDA approved, meaning they are clinically validated for its performance. Yes, we call this also as a digital medicine because it is used to intervene, diagnose a particular disease prior to its happening. Yes, but pharma industry has merged into digital medicine in 2019. Prior also, there were only IT companies which were introducing the digital medicine. Now pharma has introduced, biopharma companies have launched, and they are working along with the IT companies for the development of the product. Like for example, Veldoc and Astellas have joined together for production of digital medicine. Peer and Ironwood have joined together. Omada and Abbott have joined together. Noom and Novo Nordisk have joined together. Then One Drop and Bayer, they have joined together. And there are n number of medications which we'll be seeing in the future. Like Omada and Abbott are basically working on continuous glucose monitoring system. Noom and Novo Nordisk are working on weight management, digital medicine. And One Drop and Bayer are generally working on oncology, CVDs, and women's health. Okay, they are investing a lot for production or for emerging the new digital medicine into the market. We have a few others, Happify Health and Sanofi are merged together for management and improvement of multiple sclerosis. Bioformis, this was the first company wherein digital therapeutics came into picture in 2017, and they are merging with Novartis for generally for the monitoring heart failure patients, and by using a variable biosensor, which will be made, which will we call it as biovertin. This is a biomarker which will be tracking the heart failure in the patients. Akili and Shingoi, these are generally merging for schizophrenic patient, and Click Therapeutics and Otsuka. Otsuka is nothing but who has merged with a sensor pill. They are majorly working for major depression syndrome, and they have invested already $302 million for their projects. So there are certain roadblocks for this digital medicine or digital therapeutics also. First one is regulatory challenges. Since the app and the software changes time to time, hence the regulatory bodies should develop the new approval mechanisms time to time. We all know that regulatory bodies are slow at work, and they need to update according to the software updates, and because the approval for the digital medicine may take a longer period when what actually is expected. In fact, FDA has already launched a pre-certification pilot program to explore the new means of addressing this problem. And we have payer adoption challenges also. The sponsorship for payer organization will be a crucial success in digital therapeutic solution. And also physician adoption challenges are also there, because till date our physicians are practicing traditional medicine, and there will be a new care pathways for the physician which they have to undergo a lot of training before they could optimally find the solution. Okay, we can expect the future like this, that is hospitals in the future data analysis center, doctors in the future as a data scientist, and we have no choice but we have to bring what we call it as intelligence that is into the medicine. So to conclude my topic, our society is hitting an inflection point in digital medicine. More high quality data than ever can be controlled to remote that can influence high stakes of measurement and intervention for the real time data and the real world data. Now it is a time to shape the healthcare community. There are a number of ontologies, frameworks, and decisions that need to be made to ensure the advent of digital medicine for a better healthcare system. And in India, maybe we need to progress a lot. Okay, because since we have not yet started at all. So future way for the World Health Organization for the digital global it is growing at a rate of 27.7%, and we can expect millions of revenue generation by using this medication. While today digital appears to be offer a minor increment improvement, but it has got a very high potential, and there will be a paradigmic shift in the biopharma sector. And even Syngene is working on this, Abbott is working on this. So we hope new medication to come into the picture in the near future. So we can expect this. 2020, there will be incremental benefits. There will be new apps generated, which are relating to improved adherence. And 2025, we can expect real world data and analytics to drive R&D. We have many biomarkers for the clinical trials and data generated recommendation for the treatment. And in 2030, we can expect continuous biomarker monitoring and remote monitoring and diagnosis, digitally monitored drug delivery and prediction of risk. And in the future, we can expect diagnosis, treatment, and ongoing patient monitoring by using this digital medicine. So this will be our future. Hope so. We'll see this future very soon. So these are some of the references which I have referred for preparation of my today's presentation. So I thank you all with a quote, "Welcome to the future." If you have any doubts or any clarification, you can ask for. I like to quote one more thing. The digital pill, which is for schizophrenic patient, the cost of the pill is for the 30 days with a sensor. It will cost somewhere around 1,62,000 per month. And in abroad, everything is covered under insurance in developing countries. So they will be undergoing these clinical trials very easily, and they get much funding for continuation of this work. Naturally, if you see the whole presentation, there is much more requirement for the collaborative research. Okay, only if the pharmacist cannot do it. There's much more requirement for the collaborative research. IT sector along with the pharmacist has to work. Any questions you have, you can put it in the chat box, or you can ask individually so that I can answer. If I have, meaning if I have not covered anything which is or any relevance is not given to any topic. Blueprint medicines. I did not, Sonia Naik, you are asking some blueprint medicine. I did not get what actually it means. Yes, and one more thing is to develop this drug delivery system, we require 3D technology, 3D printing technology. We cannot develop this medication using our punching machine and all those things. It is not possible. We require 3D printing technology for developing this kind of equipment. And the pilot scale for 3D itself will cost you somewhere around 1 crore rupees with a validated and a software to that particular punching machine. So we require a 3D printing technology for this particular development of any dosage, whether it is transdermal or you want to develop a sensor technology for developing a dosage, you require a 3D printing technology for this. So cost is too much, but still you have 100% adherence, you have 100% treatment for this particular drug delivery system. So as I told you, a lot of investment is going on, a lot of research is going on in this way, but it's collaborative. Alone pharmacist cannot handle this or cannot go into the research. Any other doubts you have? Blueprint medicine development does not come under the digital medicine technology. It's a different concept, Sonia.
If there are no questions, we can conclude the session. And it was a very interesting topic, ma'am, digital medicine.
No.
Yes.
Sarsija ma'am, I believe somebody is asking the question.
One. Just check the chat. One. No.
Personal name.
Okay, maybe they put it on her personal chat, ma'am.
Okay, fine, no problem.
So indeed, it was a very interesting session, something very different from tablets and injectables and implants. So, and I'm sure all of you have got enough information from ma'am. We conclude the session for today afternoon. So day 2, we are done. Thank you, ma'am. And you can leave the session.
Okay.
I request the delegates to be there.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your patient listening. Okay, I hope I have justified my topic. If
Yes,
I have
ma'am.
not, please you can ask the question on my, most of you, you know me. My email ID can be shared. Madam, you can share my email ID to the delegates so that if they have any doubts, they can clarify personally. Okay,
Dr.
thank you so
Fatima.
much.
Dr. Fatima, I am Manur here.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you. Really, it was the topic was quite interesting, and hope in future many pharma companies in collaboration with IT companies
Yes,
may come
sir.
up with a lot many such digital medication apps,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
which is definitely going to be useful for the
Yes,
Indian
sir.
citizens, especially in detecting lot
Yes,
many
sir.
things well in advance for the better treatment of the ill or disease, whatever the individual usually suffers from.
Okay, sir.
And the country like India needs such kind of devices because since the doctors can monitor using cloud system, wherein especially the elderly patients
Yes.
sitting at home can be advised by the doctors to take proper medication or to keep the continuation of the medication at regular time intervals. So for all these things, I think this digital medication is going to be very much useful and
Yes.
very nice talk and nice presentation, and which is again for the need of the hour.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Lot
As a
many
resource.
opportunities are there. Research opportunities are there in this area.
Yes, sir.
Lot many innovation can be done by
Yes,
the
sir.
youngsters in
Yes.
this area because present generation youngsters are the hybrids of both
Yes, yes.
with IT mentality as well as there is information technology mentality as well as biologics.
Yes, sir.
It is,
I like to add on, my PhD student has taken up this topic. I don't know how well we are going to end up, but I hope some solutions we are going to come out.
Yeah, ma'am. Definitely, they have given a nice piece of work for your research scholar.
Yes.
Because nowadays is nothing is untouchable.
Yes.
We can
Yes.
touch any corner of the world through different apps as well as using different softwares.
Yes.
We can, and lot many in silico studies are there by using these models.
Yes, sir. Sure.
One can think of creating lot many such apps in future apps.
In future, yes, we are in collaboration with BVB College, and
Yeah.
we are AICTE also, and we are planning for something. Let us see how far we can reach, how far we can progress in this.
Definitely, man. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Succeed in your approach.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
sir. Thank you.
listening to your lecture after a long time.
Oh, thank you, sir. Indeed,
you.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed that you listened. You were there for all the time to listen.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Shall I leave, ma'am? Shall I leave the meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Good day. The delegates, please hold on. So we come to the end of the second day session. Tomorrow again, morning 10 o'clock, we will be starting with a session on lipid nanocarriers for drug delivery and targeting. And the speaker will be Dr. Srinivas Mutalik, who is a professor and HOD, Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Manipal. Please, again, we are requesting you to log in at least 5 minutes before we start the session so that we don't have to keep the speaker waiting. Also, it will be better that we finish in time so that we are not delayed for our further sessions as well. And please fill the feedback. The feedback forms will be sent to you immediately. The link will be sent. Yes. So the feedback have to come immediately, today itself.
I can all end the meeting.
More.